Today I was watching the Daily Gun Show over on gunchannels.com, and one of the topics they were discussing was, are revolvers adequate for concealed carry? And I didn't get in on the conversation because this was their show, not mine, but it made me want to do a video today where I talk about some of the reasons why I choose a revolver for concealed carry and why these reasons might be good reasons for you. Now, this video isn't going to be a comparison between semi-autos and revolvers. It's just going to be talking about the advantages of revolvers. Semi-autos will have their own advantages like capacity, reloads, etc. Today, we're just going to talk about the things about a revolver that might make it the right carry gun for you and definitely for me. We all know it's good for me because that's what I carry every day. I carry a revolver. I carry Smith & Wesson 586 in the wintertime. In the summertime, I carry a Chiappa Rhino. So revolvers are definitely the right gun for me, and there's multiple reasons why they're the right gun for me. Now, one reason that revolvers are often better for people is simplicity. Now, neither a semi-auto nor a revolver are complex machines that you got to be a rocket scientist to work, but the revolver is slightly simpler. There's no manual safeties you have to be familiar with. There's no questioning whether there's one in the chamber or not. You don't have to rack it. You don't have to learn to clear things like failures to eject. If there's bullets in it, there's bullets in it, and all you got to do is pull the trigger. And speaking of clearing things like failures to eject and other ammunition-related issues, you don't have that with a revolver. Revolvers are more reliable. You don't have the major causes of failures like failure to eject, failure to feed, etc. You don't have those in a revolver because it doesn't do that with the rounds. It doesn't have to feed or eject rounds. And also, you don't have magazine issues. Magazine issues are responsible for a lot of the failures of semi-autos that are not catastrophic. You don't have a magazine with a revolver, so you don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about an underpowered round not quite cycling the slide right in a revolver because an underpowered round doesn't mean anything. You just go on to the next as long as it's not a squib. Now, a lot of people will say, yeah, but if a revolver fails, it's a catastrophic failure usually and it's out of the fight. Well, yeah, but that's the same thing with a semi-auto. If it has a catastrophic failure, it's out of the fight. And I've seen far more catastrophic failures with semi-autos than I have revolvers. Things like broken trigger bars, broken firing pins, etc. I've seen things like that will take the gun out of the fight happen to semi-autos than I've ever seen happen to revolvers, and I shoot more revolvers, so it's not even a fair comparison. I think semi-autos fail more often, just regular failures. That's not in question. They definitely have more minor failures, and I think they actually have more catastrophic failures, so revolvers are more reliable. Another thing is size. You can generally get a competent revolver that is smaller than a competent semi-auto while still retaining their advantages. I mean, if you look at something as small as a Glock subcompact next to a J-frame, it still looks pretty big. The J-frame is much smaller. And that J-frame still maintains the advantages of semi-auto. If you go much smaller than a Glock subcompact in a semi-auto, you lose those advantages of capacity, etc. So you lose one of the main reasons to carry a semi-auto. So when it comes to size, revolvers are just more versatile. You can get them in smaller packages that still maintain their advantages, up to big guns that can do pretty much anything you want them to do. And that brings us to power. Revolvers are more powerful. They hold more powerful rounds. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, well, 10 millimeters just as powerful as 357 Magnum. Well, actually, it's not. If you look at the maximum potential out of a 10 millimeter and the maximum potential out of a 357 Magnum, the 357 Magnum still has a greater maximum potential by quite a bit. And like I said, you can get revolvers in 357 Magnum that are still small and easily carried that have that powerful round. When you go up to 10 millimeter in semi-autos, you end up with kind of bulky guns. Even the Glock 29 is kind of bulky, and it really doesn't handle recoil very well because you got a powerful round in a lightweight polymer gun. So even though you can go up to a round that's fairly powerful, the 10 millimeter, you end up paying a price for it in size, controllability, etc., just the ease of carrying it. So 10 millimeter is not a good competitor for 357 Magnum because for one, it's just not as powerful and it comes with a lot of drawbacks in a semi-automatic. And if you try to go much above 10 millimeter in a semi-auto, you're getting into novelty territory. You're getting into guns that don't shoot well, that you definitely can't carry or you can't handle well. Whereas with a revolver, you can go up to a 44 Magnum and get a gun that shoots very well. And a hard cast 44 Magnum is going to kill anything on this continent. So it will do anything you need it to do while still being a carryable, shootable gun. And using the vague term shootable gets us to another category here, inherent accuracy. Revolvers are inherently more accurate than semi-autos. There's really two reasons for that. One, the barrel and the cylinder and the sights are all fixed together. They do not move. They never go out of sync with one another. Therefore, they can be finer tuned. There's better chances of having a good, accurate revolver every time than a semi-auto. The way semi-autos are built, the way things have to move, there is a little bit more slop, for lack of a better term, that you have to take account for when you set your sights. Now, it's not enough to even make a difference in most people's hands, but still, revolvers are more accurate. Another reason is the barrel never goes off target in a revolver. Revolver barrels are fixed. Semi-auto barrels, they usually flip or something like that or rotate. They usually actually move off target in the act of firing. Revolver barrels don't do that. Revolvers are just an inherently more accurate tool. Now, talking about all those things that are advantages for the revolver, that's one thing. That's easy to look at those things. Now, of course, there's other advantages to semi-autos, and some people, these advantages might not be an advantage for them. But this gets us to what the biggest advantage to a revolver is for me, and that is I shoot it better than I shoot any other gun. There's not a semi-automatic gun on the market that I would actually carry in the same size range as a revolver that I would carry that I shoot as quickly or consistently as I do like a Smith & Wesson in-frame, K-frame, or L-frame revolver. Therefore, this is a better gun for me. It's a better gun for me because I use it better than I do any semi-auto that I would actually carry. And that's the main reason revolvers are good for me for carry. And you know what? If that last little criteria there doesn't match for you, if you don't shoot revolvers better than you do semi-automatics, then none of the other stuff I've mentioned in this video even matters because a revolver isn't right for you. If it's not what you shoot best, it isn't right for you. So don't settle on a revolver. Keep looking for a gun that fits that criteria for you. You ain't even my real dad. There's not, and to fire it, you just pull the trigger. Slightly simpler. Revolvers are often better for people that don't know. There's no safeties that you have to familiarize yourself with. You don't have to worry, is there one of the chambers or one not? Motherfucker! Shoot more revolvers. Use these things. You don't have to worry about squib loads. Failure to eject or other ammo. I've seen more broken. Motherfucker! For an underpowered round is still going to work. Powered round, not quite cycling the slot. Powered round, not quite to eject and other amulet. Why can't I talk? If I put this in, if the first person that tells me diet soda is bad for you, I'm coming to your house and kicking you in the twat.